welcome back guys to the channel, and for another user submitted deck tech for March of Machines, in which we're going to discuss and sort of an interesting blue-white tokens deck build, which was named by Elliot Dagenstam as blue-white Convocation. As you know, this is for the root word convoke, which is an old mechanic from the green based or Celestia based mechanic, but this is again almost adapted by all the colors from this set. So we have 8 battles in this build, 8 enchantments, also 20 instants and 24 lands. So at first look it might be just sort of a typical blue-white creature-less kind of a control deck, but we'll explore why this deck build will be quite interesting as we go along with some of the new cards from this recent set and how it would affect or be somewhat significant in the standard format. So we're going to start with the battles, and this is basically the new cards that has been introduced, or the new card types. First, we have 4 copies of Invasion with Segovia. This is a battle siege that when enters the battlefield, create a 2/1/1 blue Kraken creature token with trample with the 4 counters on it. That is, once it is defeated, you will get to have this one transform into a 3/3 K2 Citadel of Segovia, which is a legendary creature serpent, in which non-creature spells you cast have convoke. So it's quite interesting to have this passive ability, wherein you're going to be having a benefit of all of the rest of these non-creature spells. So basically, if you look on this, you can basically have all of these non-creature spells at your disposal. So we're going to look again what K2 has offers. Adding your end step and tap up to 4 target creatures. So there's also another way to benefit, wherein tapping all of your tokens that are produced will then again be used for another convoke ability. So making sure that we can be very efficient in having this one. So we'll have 4 copies of this in the main deck. As you can see again here, it is basically more of a token producer by itself, and at the same time, if you'll be able to rotate or flip this card into Katos, and then you will be having these additional benefits. Now for another battle that we're going to use in this build is the Invasion of Phyrexia. So this is one of the only, I think this is one of the mythic battles in this set, in which its ability that when enters the battlefield, you also create X 2/2 white and blue knight creature tokens with vigilance. So what makes this build interesting, because of you can basically have at least one, and later on you can have also a good mana sink on this card, because you can basically produce all of this or a bunch of 2/2 white blue knight creature tokens with vigilance into the play. Now for added benefit, once this siege gets defeated, you will get this flip ability of Teferi, Akusa of Zalfir. So this is now the Planeswalker card of this version of Teferi, wherein you will have these abilities to draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. Unless you discard a creature card, you also get an emblem, wherein your knights to control gets +1/+0 and have ward 1. So that's also a very powerful ability. Once you'll be able to flip this one into Teferi and then activate its loyalty ability to that of -2. And also this activation -3 also very interesting in case of you would need to tap X creatures, then shuffle target non-land permanent an opponent controls with mana value X or less to its barely. So it's sort of a spot removal in a sense, wherein having those tokens build, you would be able to tap any number or the needed number of creatures you control, so that you would be able to shuffle or sort of an exile effect target non-land permanent to the opponent's controls, equal to the number of creatures that would be able to tap on this. So it's very crucial in this build to be having this scenario of control, wherein at the same time you would also get a benefit of creating these massive armies of 2/2 white and blue knight creature tokens at your board. So in the support of these battles, we have some enchantments here. You're also familiar already with Skelb's Hive. You can go producing this white Bitter Blossom in the deck, and at the same time, you can also go with the toxic or poison counter route if we were able to unmask a large number of these Phyrexia artifact creature tokens with the toxic one. You also have an announcement which has a variance of producing 1/1 human creature tokens. Then you would also have this option to draw 2 cards whenever you attack with 2 or more creatures, and of course the pump effect, anthem effect, once you would be able to flip this one into wedding festivity. So with this support, you would need this instance. Surprisingly, we have a lot of instance on this deck, basically composing almost 1/3 of this build to make sure that counter spells and other options are met, so that you can be able to go into flipping your battles and resolving your token producers. So we're just going to have a quick rundown. Aspect Smite, 3 damage target attacking blocking creature, and Exile effect. I would prefer to have more of a solid spot removal rather than this one, but this will do this build. Fading Hope, also a very cheap spot, sort of a bounce effect, but also with a bonus of Scry for targeting creatures with mana value 3 or less. We have 2 copies also of Surge Observation. This would in a way protect your permanents through X-Proof and preventing damage. Sadly, the destroy effects would not really be prevented by this one, but we have also some counter spells at our disposal to be able to counter those spells, sort of some removal effects such as Farewell or Depopulate, and of course Make Disappear, which benefits well with a casualty. With casualty 1 for your tokens, you can just sacrifice a random token or random creature with power 1 or greater to be able to have a casualty 1 to copy the spell. And 4 copies to negate, to making sure that no non-creature spells would resolve. I would also have, I think, the variants of this, maybe 3 negates in 1 Deceitful Stroke, so we have a solid late game spot, counter spell. And we have 4 copies also within the Minds that would support the Convoke mechanic. You will have to basically Convoke to draw 2 cards and also gas up your hand for the setup. And for the land, we have 24 lands at our mana source, with a combination of our slow lands, Darker Ways to Pain lands, these are the slow lands, and the Sacrum Coast as the newest from Phyrexia LB1, and of course spot removals in the terms of channel lands in the setup with 5 plains and 5 island. I think also would consider having this card. Maybe Mirex would fit for at least 1 on this build, because if you will see here, you can also produce a colorless Phyrexia token, which is basically another token source from your land, and basically you can just cut at least a plane here. For example, you can cut this one and go with the Mirex to have another source of spot of token producers in the build. Now for the mana curve for this one would averagely 2.22, that's between 2 and 3. It's basically aligned more for 2, because you can see here basically almost all of your instances are just between 1 and 2 mana cost, and many of the mines would basically cost you 0 if you'll be able to stabilize your tokens, and you can have basically convoking them for free and drawing 2 cards in the process. And last but not the least, surprisingly, we only have 3 kinds of tokens in this build. We have the human knight token, so this one, and also Phyrexia by token from the Skelb's Hide effect, and also that of Mirex. So this is another interesting deck build. Thank you for Dragon's team for featuring this one. I do hope if you were able to try this one once the new set becomes legal to play in standard, or you're gonna have to be able to play this in MTGO or MTG Arena. You can comment below your feedback on how the deck will turn out and its performance against other metagame decks in the format. So that's basically about it, guys. Thank you for checking this another user submitted deck tech for Blue Eye Convocation, sort of Blue Eye Control Convocation in the setup. And see you guys on the next video.